Hello CFA students and CFA candidates. Welcome to another CFA Daily Lesson. Today we'll be covering one of the topics that will be asked in the fixed income subject. So let's go straight to the question. Relative to an otherwise similar option-free bond, a putable bond will trade at a higher price, a callable bond will trade at a higher price, or a convertible bond will trade at a lower price. So a couple things to notice here. First, the question talks about higher price and lower price. Well, when you're trading fixed income, one thing is true. The higher the yield to maturity, or the discount rate, the lower the price. In other words, the higher the discount rate, the lower the price. And the reverse is also true. The lower the yield to maturity, the higher the price. So perhaps the question here is, which of these bonds trades at a higher or at a lower yield to maturity? Is that a putable bond, a callable bond, or a convertible bond? So what is a putable bond? A putable bond is a bond in which you, the investor, has the way or has the option, has the right to return that bond to the issuer. When will we be doing that? Well, when the price goes down. And when does the price go down? When the yield to maturity goes up. So perhaps the other way to make the same question is, when is the yield to maturity go up and when does the yield to maturity go down? So is it in a putable bond? Is it in a callable bond? Or is it in a convertible bond? So as you saw, two things are inverse, right? So you have here like the price and you have here the yield to maturity. So you see one going up, the other going down, etc. So what is a putable bond? A putable bond is a bond that gives you, the investor, the right to return that bond to the issuer. When we'll do that? Well, I'll do that when the price goes down. When does the price go down? When the yield to maturity go up. So before the yield to maturity skyrockets and my present value plummets, I'll return that to the issuer. It's a great thing for me, right? So because it's so good to me, do you think I'm asking for a higher yield or for a lower yield? For a lower yield. Why? Because it protects me. It's a great bond to me. So usually putable bonds trade at lower yield to maturities. And because they trade at lower yields, they have higher prices. So letter A is correct. Letter B talks about callable bonds. In callable bonds, the issuer has the right to call the bond from you. In other words, if the bond starts to get too high, before it gets very high and their debt explodes, he will call the bond back, right? And what happens for the price to go up? The yield to maturity must go down. So before the yield to maturity goes to zero and the present value goes really high, he will call it back. Is it good for you? No, it's good for the issuer. That's why you will be asking for a lot of yields in this kind of bonds. And if you have a lot of yields, you have low prices. So letter B cannot be correct. It does not trade at higher prices. It trades at lower prices because it has a very high yield to maturity. And finally, convertible bonds will trade at a lower price. Well, a convertible bond is a bond that gives you, the investor, the right to exchange that bond for equity. So assuming that company doesn't pay that debt or enters into default, before you lose your money, you can exchange that for equity. It's a great thing for you, right? You have an extra protection. It's kind of a collateral that you have and favors you. So in this kind of bond, because it's so good for you, you will also ask for a little less yield compared to another option-free bond. So because you have the right to exchange for more equity, you ask for lower yields. And because you ask for lower yields, it trades at higher prices. So letter C is also wrong. Not lower, but higher prices. So in our case, this leads us to letter C. So this is a question that it's kind of tricky. You gotta know what is a putable, a callable, and a convertible bond, and you gotta know what's their relation to the yield to maturity for each case. I hope you like it. This is a level 1 fixed income question. And keep in touch with FK Partners. Follow us in the social network. There will be more daily lessons coming up really soon. Thanks, guys.